Giri Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadip Dham ki jai, ki jai, ki jai, Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Om Vishnu Saki.
Hare, welcome to the Bhaktivedanta Ashram here at Govardhan. Or so devotees, so if you'd kindly move up by 7.5 inches, deeply appreciate it. There's also some space up here. Don't to come on up here and 7.5 inches, please. That will make room for more devotees. Happy devotees. First met his Guru Maharaj in Ultadanga. He tells, and obviously from that of Sangha, he later who that we'd all come together by the divine arrangement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the divine order, and now all of us are here. His divine grace, God. Our next door. So please just appreciate and we'll absorb it all. Full transcend. Various devotees today, some specific chronological order of seniority. Please be at any time. It's not predictable who I'll call now. And we'll go on till noon probably, and then we'll have the and prasadam feast for everybody who comes here. And first of all, I'd like to acknowledge this Keshav Das Goswami Maharaj and Krishna Maharaj, who through thick and thin, beautiful at the foot of Govardhan Hill established so that we could all come here and go deeply into the things of Srila Prabhupada books. They spent many years restoring and have kept just alive, but for decades. So Holiness Keshav Maharaj travels all over, comes back here as his base, and I feel it's appropriate for him to come and the mood for festival. Hare Krishna. Yes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. And old friendly faces and old friends, I welcome you all to this Bhakti. Needs editing. It was Tamal Krishna Maharaj who while they were doing parikrama and put their eye on it as a possible center for this movement. Wasn't enough. When Srila Prabhupada left this word, my ear, and there was a bit of a controversy. But yeah, asked his Babaji, Maharaj, stay and not come to Govardhan at the moment. In his own, you all of enjoyment, transcendent enjoyment, small kun, small, and Srila Prabhupada did something could will ever do. He brought to us, and I'd like to read just a little. Start the ball. I'm not going to speak very long because there's a lot of senior and elevated and more here. And to from a conversation in Melbourne in 1976, where Srila Prabhupada make a very interesting point. A person named Brian Singer was there with him, and he was a very nice devotee, and Prabhupada appreciated him. I'm going to read just an excerpt from this conversation in which Srila Prabhupada made a very wonderful point, which separates him out from everyone. Brian Singer, what does, when you become Krishna conscious, does it mean you come into the chapel? Or can you lead and still? Prabhupada. Going to the chapel, that is one of the means. But there are different processes, of which hearing about Krishna is the most important thing. Shravanam. If you continuously hear about, therefore these books are there. And chant. If you, I'll hear. Published 8. Of course, maybe it was a little. This one's 76. This then attention is immediately. Stand about Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam 6. joy and in pleasure in Chaitanya Charita 7. So you cannot finish even within your life. So many books are there. And you'll forget reading other books. First book of Bhagavad Gita is well known. Every scholar, religionist, everyone reads all over the world. But sometimes they are misinterpreted foolishly. Something as it is. We repeat the same thing. And from that same conversation, Brian Sinker asks, you find that in the translation from the thought of the Sanskrit to the English word, from the English words to the mass, the people's heads, do you find there is much loss? Prabhupada: no, if you have grasped that you can express language. But if you cannot grasp the thought, then you cannot express. So, it is that we have to receive the thoughts as it is for our system. Therefore, it is presented so nicely, and people like it. Value of the subject matter that we have to receive from authorities, just like any scientific book. Say medical science. You cannot understand medical science by reading the books. It must be received through a medical man. Then it will be clear. Therefore, the parampara system, Arjuna said, Evam parampara. Arjuna said, Evam parampara praptam. Everything is parampara. If you receive the knowledge from the authority, then you are in perfect knowledge. Therefore, our method perfect to understand the subject matter. But still, when reads the books, is from authorities, there is chance of understanding. Real thing. So our is training, not only training, knowledge, practical and theoretical. That is real science. If you give up one side, then you can give up the theoretical side. But practical side, give up. Then the two sides, practical and theoretical. So that is real scientific knowledge. Two sides presented in our Krishna consciousness, and they are being thoroughly trained up. So this is the thing that Prabhupada did that no one else could do. He the thoughts in that we can grasp the thoughts. And therefore, despite the fact that there were about 100 actually, by the time Prabhupada came to the West, became a devotee. In the way that Prabhupada expressed, we should become devotee. So here we are, places of the world, from all different age groups, sitting together at the feet of Srila Prabhupada, Acharya of our movement. And I think it's safe to say that if he hadn't come to the West and hadn't grasped it into English in a way that we could actually understand, then we wouldn't be today. And it's up to us to continue to develop, practically apply in our lives in a way that others can grasp Srila Prabhupada's message. The saying, personality whose is pervasive throughout his movement in the hearts of all of his followers through his books. So I opened up today's office to Srila Prabhupada with this heartfelt, his clarity of thought and the example that he set for us will perpetuate itself forever, at least for the next 10,000 years. That we will continue to be able to gather around Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet at this for as long as these days and as long as Srila Prabhupada's sincere followers are here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi.
His Holiness Keshav Maharaj ki jai. Jai Vaita Swami.